Hi, and welcome back to the Two Pondering Pagans. I'm Salon. I am doing a weekly reading. You'll see behind me, I chose a little bit more of a floral arrangement today. Yeah, it's grass. I believe these are summer pea flowers. But I have had a lot of fun today actually making soda bread as part of our Lunasa celebration. So I'm still feeling in the festivities a little bit. Um, if you do celebrate Luna Sa or Lammas or anything of the sort, I do hope that you have a great day and that you enjoy the heat of the sun and the first harvest. And if you don't, you know what? Feel free, you do you. But going outside, enjoying the sun, getting in the sunlight a little bit, even if it's hot, don't burn yourself. Really good idea to feel that heat and to feel that energy. So we're going along with that. Also, I apologize, but as you can tell, I am coming back from having lost my voice, so a little bit of squeaks there, a little bit of new puberty coming on. So, with that, we are going to start with the Wooden Tarot. And the Wooden Tarot is a different deck that I have not used before on any of these videos. I will obviously be sharing pictures and images as we go through. But this tarot deck is a bit more minimalist than what I've used in the past. It's very clear in its meanings. One thing about the Wooden Tarot is the imagery is not what you would find in a standard Rider-Waite deck or something similar to that. There's some differences, but still it's easy to read, it makes sense, and it can really help on the way you want to work on things or looking at things. So the other thing I wanted to mention is when we do these general reads, my goal really is to try to give you some insight. It's not always going to resonate. Nothing is always going to be 100% or work, but I do try to tap into the energies that are going on with this season, what's around us, and the things that are going on so that we can take that energy and use it. For example, we're in the harvest season, so my reading will likely take on ideas and thoughts of things that are making sure that we are reaping what we planted, and if we're not getting the results that we want, making adjustments to it. I do always have a solid meditation prior to doing a weekly tarot, but it's important that it's not going to resonate with every single person every time. And hopefully it does. If you have comments, questions, or you want to add something to it, I don't mind disagreements at all. Put that in the comments. Love to hear different people's ideas and thoughts and aspects of how they do stuff. So with that, we'll get started. All right, so I'm going to do this read very similar to the way I do most of my general reads. Now, when I read an individual or a person directly, I use the entire deck, all in one piece, shuffled together and pulled, most cases. If there's a very specific question about a very specific system, thought, or idea, then yeah, I may do this type of read also. And by this type of read, I want to tell you, it's where I separate the major arcana out, and I draw one major arcana card. And then I start drawing minor arcana cards to kind of develop what that system or that energy is talking about. So we are going to do a couple of different ways, and I probably will do a video at some point. We do actually have one planned on divination, but where I go into tarot and see the different ways I either shuffle or draw or even teach other people how to read in certain ways. And I use teach loosely because I think tarot is a very personal tool. There are so many different ways to read it, and I don't think that it is a good idea to try to make it so that one way is the right way and one way is not. So that to me is really important, to be honest. I think we really should focus on learning and educating ourselves, connecting to the energy that's around us, whether it's your universal source, the deities you believe in, pantheistic, polytheistic, monotheistic, whatever it is you do, they're all okay. And that's your way of connecting. I think you should use those tools when you ground with the tarot. Now, me, for instance, I am kind of a mix of poly and pantheism. I do envision gods and goddesses as in existence, whether it be by thought, energy, or spirit, not necessarily the physical way we think of them, but and I use them. And I ask them to help me, and I ask them to come in when I'm doing my meditations. I want to get the energies correct. I want to have a process where things are intertwined. And it's not necessarily easy or hard. It's just something that you work at and you do over time. So if you're trying to work with a deity or an energy or whatever it is, and you're asking somebody to say, hey, can you help me figure out how to do this? They're going to give you their way, and I will absolutely share mine as we go through these videos and tarot and all these other things. But use that to develop your own and what works for you. I can feel my throat getting, or my voice getting a little hoarse here. So again, I apologize for that. So let's see what we got. We're first going to pull our Major Arcana card, and we have got the World. Absolutely amazing card to pull for right now. And if you don't know, I also am a co-host on a podcast, The Malice Experience. You can find it on YouTube and quite a few other places where podcasts are uploaded and shared. And this is already going very similar to that. So I think that's pretty cool. Our second card from the Minor Arcana is the Seven of Blooms. And then we are going to get, who are you? The Nine of Plumes. So, very interesting. And I guess I can go ahead and explain now. In this deck, the suits are different, but they can be analogous, right? So we've got the stones. To me, in this deck, the stones are related to pentacles or coins, you know, if you're into coins, I think those are the two main things I've seen them called. So stones, coins, pentacles, those are kind of the same thing. This is the Earth card. You've got plumes. So when I think of plumes, I think of either smoke or feathers, right? Plumage, plumes of smoke. So that to me would be an air card. We have bones. Bones can be very interesting to me. Bones would be like your wands. These are the structures. And then we have, I said plumes, blooms, which would be like your water. So blooms of things that have soaked up the water and bloomed out, the emotional growth and creation of things. So now, granted, I will tell you, there are more than there's 79 cards in this deck actually. And I am pretty sure, I don't know if it comes with a book or not because I don't read the books anyway. So somebody else is looking at this, or even the creator may completely disagree with that analogy of the way I look at these cards. But anyway, that's my thing. So let's start with our Major Arcana. So I'm really excited that the World is the picture that we see, or the image that we're seeing in our first card. So for me, I am going to focus this week on culminating energy. This is very powerful, but calm energy. Once you get to the World and the Major Arcana, you're experiencing all of the things that need to be experienced in the right amount to really work on something and really grow and create and interact. So this week is set to be an amazing week. When you're talking about the World, sometimes we look at Yggdrasil or the World Tree or whatever main connecting force that there is as part of that image. And so if I were to say this week, there's going to be a lot going on because, you know, think about it. The tree has branches and roots. Roots go into the earth deep down. They've got the trunk that's in the visual as we see it. And then you've got the branches way up in the sky of the largest trees. Think of redwood trees in California, you know, hundreds and hundreds of feet high. And you've got something that spans across different realities or different planes, right? Earth, below earth, above earth, as above, so below, as within, so without. And I say that a lot, and I repeat that phrase because it's that balance that is there, but it's that stretching across. So this is your week to clearly communicate your stuff, say how you feel, go for what you want, work with the things you want to work with, and if there's something that you don't particularly like, you'll still be successful at it if you put the energy into it this week. So don't let it get you down if you're having to do something you don't enjoy or don't like, because you can make it something that is at least acceptable and tolerable for you. So that's the World. She's talking about this week being a wide open experiential week. So take it, run with it, learn something, do something new, speak up for yourself or others or whatever you need to do. Don't hold things back this week. The Seven of Blooms. Very interesting card. It reminds me of magnolia tree seeds and some other things, which I need to find because I can't remember what the image actually is. But in the center of it, there's this eye, and so with blooms for me, again, we're talking about cups. If you're a traditional tarot, so blooms to me would be cups, and we're really looking at what things do we need to look at emotionally. So with all of this energy that the world is talking about. In our first card, the Seven of Blooms is saying, but be careful, but pay attention, but look at the things that are hidden beneath, but look at what's around you and the people and things that are around you, and don't be weary, but be observant. So keep your eye open and focus on the things that are going on, but don't let that stop you from doing what the world is telling us to do this weekend. That is, go out and be and do and think and feel. Then we reach our third card here. This is the Nine of Plumes. So thinking of going to air, which for me would be swords. So think of swords if you're a traditional reader when I'm talking about the plumes here. And in the plumes, I'm seeing 4 owls, one of them with a third eye. And so what I honestly think about, even without this particular imagery, when you're getting to Nine of Air, is that we're working through the knowledge of a project or the knowledge of there's my favorite word, project. I got to work on that. But you're working through the steps of something, right? Of how should I say, maybe becoming better of yourself and knowing more about yourself or the world around you, because that's what swords represent to me is gnosis, knowledge, thought, thinking, moving, putting things together and creating something out of it. So this card, the Nine of Plumes, or we'll call it the Nine of Swords if it makes it easier, is telling us that we're nearing the end of that. We've almost got everything in a row, and this is our last chance to stop and look at what's going on and say, beep, beep, is everything in order? Is there anything I need to change before I hit the order button? Because you don't want to hit the order button and be like, shit, I forgot something really important. So the Nine of Plumes, or a Nine of Swords, to me, represents that stop right before you hit the button to go. You say, look, you know what? I'm going to write this big book. I've been working on a book. I'm working on writing stuff down, or maybe even just a chapter, or even just, a couple pages about one specific topic. You've got everything together, but stop, be observant, according to the Blooms card. Stop and take stock of it. Make sure you've got everything in order. That's the Plumes card. It's just a double check. And then the world is what we're going to have if we do that for over the next week. So that energy really goes along with the harvest season, right? With Lughnasadh, we celebrate the things that we have worked for and planted, the coins, the stones, the earth, things that we have worked or that we are honoring. And now we are reaping those benefits as part of the harvest festival, Lughnasadh. And as we do that, we're celebrating putting those things together, all the different ingredients, your air card, right? Your swords, your plumes. And we're making sure all those ingredients are in there before we bake it and create it with fire. That would be in this particular deck, I think, the bones. And then we're going to get the result. And you know what? We baked a really cool bread today for the first time, and it actually worked, and we thought it was going to fall apart. So putting all of that together, right? We really want to see that the things that we have done up to this point this year, and maybe even the last year, or this part of your life, or this journey part of your life, you need to benefit from that. You need to result from that. It's hard work. And when you don't see something that comes up from it, it gets really frustrating. Sometimes, like the Nine of Plumes says, you just need to stop and look at everything before you hit that button, and then you'll be able to see and participate fully. So that's the reading for this week. I really enjoy doing these readings in general, just for the week. The energy that I am pulling or that I'm working with is my own. And the things that I connect to, I would love to hear any comments you might have. Did this resonate with you or not? And if not, have you recently done a reading, or do you do tarot or had a reading and you want to share about that and what energy you've gotten recently, or things that you might have felt differently? I'd be very interested to know and hear what you have to say about that, and really appreciate you stopping by. And I wish you the best Lughnasadh, the best week, and the best day that you can have. So blessed be.